Hey, and welcome to the first ever Frost Seymour experience, the inaugural, if you will. I'm Nick Frost.
And I'm Paul Seymour. How you doing, guys? I hope you're all well. Ready for the new season, Nick?
I cannot wait. It's been a long time coming, sort of a week.
Yeah, a week. Well, yeah, because we've just not long gone crowning my team as champions, and now all of a sudden we're just thrown into this new season. So, yeah, it'd be interesting. Obviously, this podcast is something about obviously us. We're going to be doing something new. And welcome all different people from all sides of sports as well. It's not just about football. Obviously, if you want to chime in, by all means do so. Yeah. So, what's on the agenda today, Nick?
Today we are going to be previewing the upcoming season. We're going to look at each team, signings they've made, what we think their chances are, and then we're going to finish with a little game. It's my predictions versus your predictions for the season standings.
I can't wait for that, man. I'll tell you, I've had a little preview, and I think we're very similar in many ways. But I think our relegation, our champions are different, aren't they? So we'll see how that goes. But episode 1, of course, we're going to start off with obviously a little bit of a look at each team and see what they've done in the business side of it, of course, obviously with the transfer still ongoing and any latest news that we'll bring across. Nick, I think you've got the first one, haven't you, at Arsenal?
Oh, here we are. We're going to go straight to the Gunners, one of our
Yes.
good friend teams, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They've signed Willian from Chelsea,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of other players, Cedric Suarez,
Yeah.
Pablo Mari, Gabriel Magalhaes.
Mm.
Probably pronounced that wrong, so
I think we all probably have it.
apologies, Gabriel. Um, so last season they finished 8th. Obviously, they won the FA Cup. At the end, they had a good ending.
Yeah.
Arteta, he's doing well so far, wouldn't you say, Paul?
Yeah, oh, definitely. I think he's come straight in. He's had obviously he's had a lot of experience at Man City under Pep, of course, and obviously a great experience to have with him, of course, as well. But yeah, fantastic start so far. I think the signing's there. I think William's going to be a good choice. I don't think he's an old workhorse. I think he's going to go straight in. I think he'll do well there. Any kind of standout players for you going forward? Obviously, other than Aubameyang, of course, if he does decide to stay.
Aubameyang, of course, my darling from the FIFA days on Borussia Dortmund.
Oh,
But I think they'll do well. I think him, Willian, and Lacazette, if Lacazette stays,
yeah.
are a good attacking trio. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, they've got the ongoing Ozil saga. Is he going to
Yeah.
stay? Is he going to go? That
Mm-hmm.
could be, a bit difficult for the team to deal with that situation, but
Mm-hmm.
they seem to be coping all right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, especially Metal, Metzel. Sorry, I keep calling him Metal. But yeah, he's obviously living the life of Riley at the moment. Pretty. I think to get his attitude into it, he's got to have that want. And at the moment, if him, I don't know, not wanting to come off the bench. I mean, why would you if you're getting paid just to be sitting there chilling? I've seen a picture of him earlier with like an umbrella over his head, chilling, and it's just like, well, he's getting paid all that money. Why would you? But something needs to be sorted out in that regard because he's a tremendous player when he's on form. He's one of the best, in the league when he's on form. But it's getting him back into that picture. Whether they do so or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, will he ever be the same player again? But like you say, 400 grand a week to sit on your ass. Nice work if you can get it.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
Yeah,
I'll do.
right. Okay, so we're going to go down to Aston Villa. That's just appearing on my screen. Okay, so obviously their notable signings. Was it just today, yesterday? Ollie Watkins coming from Brentford for 27.2 million. That's their record-breaking signing for Aston Villa, of course. And Matty Cash, who's obviously going to be right back from Nottingham Forest for just 14.1 million. God, when you think Alan Shearer went for 15 all back then, now it's 14.1. It's just like nothing nowadays. Villa, they just scraped it last season. I think they relied heavily on other results, which went their way, of course. They relied a lot. And I mean a lot on Jack Grealish. I think, without Jack they struggled. But I think this season, if he decides to stay, I can't see him moving anywhere before the transfer is up. But who knows? Stranger things have happened. But I just don't think they've got enough in them to stay up this season. I think they're doomed personally. What about yourself, Nick? How do you feel?
Yeah, again, echoing a lot of the same sentiments. I think they're in for a relegation dogfight all season.
Yeah.
They're going to have to just try and pick up the points where they can against fellow strugglers, right off the games against the top teams because they're not going to get anything really.
No.
And yeah, home games against fellow strugglers, that's where their points are going to come from.
Yeah.
And if they can't get them from that, they're in big trouble.
Do you think there's any
But yeah,
standout players there?
Well, you've got Grealish, obviously, like you mentioned already. I'm surprised he's still there, to be fair. I thought for sure someone was going to come in for him.
Yeah.
But he stuck it out. He does it. He's a Villa fan, after all, I suppose, playing for the
Yeah.
team he supports in the
Yeah.
Premiership.
He is
It's
indeed.
great.
Yeah.
But
But does he want to be another Stevie Gerrard? Well, okay, the teams are completely different. But, his passion stayed there. And that league, well, depends on anything you look at, really. I mean, Villa are never going to probably prop up the league at the top, are they? But, if you're going to be a one-man club, is it worth it? But we'll see.
yeah, I can't see them winning the Champions League, to be fair.
Although a big shout out though to Villa and the fans, of course, if they are watching, is obviously you were the first English Champions League winners. So mucho respecto. My manager at work is my bigger manager. He's a big Aston Villa fan, got a tattoo on his leg and everything. So we have a bit of banter with him with her. But fair play to him. But I think those glory days are long gone for now.
Yeah, well, they'll have the self of being the biggest team in the West Midlands, I suppose.
Yeah, of course. No doubt about that.
Although I suppose that might actually go to Wolves at this point.
Interesting. Yes, I mean obviously they're coming on strong. They did really well in Europe last season. So we'll definitely see. It's his last season. Just feels like a few weeks ago, doesn't it? It's mad, but it is. It literally is. So.
But yeah, shall we move on to
Indeed.
Brighton?
Yes, far away.
Oh, Brighton, the Ghouls.
Kaka!
Of course. Bit of a shock signing, Adam Lallana from your club, Liverpool.
Indeed.
A free.
Yeah, great player when he's on. When he come on, he did really well. But yeah, I think he'll do really well at Brighton. I think his experience will do him well. But yeah, I mean,
stay fit, of course.
Well, that's his problem. It was the fitness issue for him, I think. Very much like a lot of players these days, you get some good summies like is that play Bally? Is it Bally? Ballet? I can't think of his name. I think that's how you pronounce the name for Man United. Great player on his day, perfect. In defence, but then is he? He's too much injury prone. So I think that's Lallana's going to carry that over, of course. But he's a free transfer, so what you got to lose?
Absolutely. Of course, they've also signed Jensen Weir and Joel Woutman. I have to be honest, I don't really know too much about them. They've picked them both up for a relatively small amount of money in footballing terms. So it's a no-risk signings, I suppose.
Yeah.
But Knockaert, he was a big player for them, and he's gone to Fulham for 10 million.
Yeah. That's big. That is big. I mean, Fulham just come up. Obviously looking to knock on a few doors. They didn't fare well last time. They were all a couple of seasons back. But you know what? Him going over there he might prompt them up a little bit. He's obviously come from a similar background in Brighton, a bit higher up in the table, of course. But yeah, I don't see the future's not Brighton for me. I just still feel that there's still a bit more they'll need, but they've got a bit more experience now. So
yeah,
I like Brighton. I hope they do well.
I do hope they do well. They've also lost Moy, who he was also in and around the first team.
Yeah.
And they haven't really replaced him. So last season, 15th place finish. I can sort of see a similar scenario again. Probably safe, but not really pulling up any trees.
No, indeed. So that was a quick short one on Brighton. Obviously now it's your rivalry, because obviously Nick is a Blackburn Rovers fan, if you knew him before. So Burnley is his Everton to my Liverpool, I suppose. Burnley really, they've had a lot of departures. I'll just read them out here real quick for the listeners. You got Jeff Hendrick, Joe Hart, Aaron Lennon, and Ben Gibson. They've brought in Will Norris, and I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about Will Norris, coming from Wolves, or the fee, of course. Burnley are one of them teams who are when they can be a stick, they can be a thorn in the sides. We had trouble with them in the past, giving us stick into the side and stuff. I say we, my team, Liverpool, not me personally, but I just think they used to be they're quite a grinding team, or you could get them on an off day, which is the majority of their games they played. And it'd just be downhill for them, to be honest. What do you think to your rivals?
Well, I'm loving their pre-season. In fact, they've had a terrible one.
Yep.
Lost several first teamers. Haven't signed anyone. There was a lot of rumours around Sean Dyche towards the end of last season. Is he going to move on to a bigger club? And as I say it through gritted teeth, he really does deserve to get a chance at a bigger club for the job he's done at Burnley.
Yeah.
He's been an amazing manager for them, you know. Solid mid-table every single season from in the Premier League from when he first took over is just incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's done a heck of a job, you know. And obviously when he's not tearing down Klopp or whatever, it's good to see him like in his banter modes. Like you said something the other day about Messi's agreed a fee, unbelievable and stuff like that. He's got a spirit in him. But yeah, a fantastic job at Burnley. He's kept him up there all this time. You know, they you know, for as much as they've struggled, they've also succeeded in many ways as well, to stay up as long as they have. So let's hope we get a rivalry soon, Nick? Get your Rovers back up, the Rovers return.
Well, I'd rather the Rovers go up and Burnley go back down, but it's the dream scenario.
Yes, that's it. So who we got next on the thing? So
we head on to Chelsea.
Oh, this is yours. Chelsea. Go ahead.
Often called the Chelsea Rent Boys by jealous fans, of course. And they've certainly lived up to that this season, haven't they? I mean, they're clearly the biggest spenders pre-season.
Indeed.
They've bought Kai Havertz from Leverkusen, £72 million. Timo Werner, Leipzig, 47 million.
Wow.
Signing, that is. Ben Chilwell, Leicester, 45 million. Hakim Ziyech, a right winger from Ajax, 36 million. And I think, personally, probably going to be one of the signings of the season. Thiago Silva on a free transfer from PSG.
100%. Yeah. Completely agree with you there, Nick. Thiago Silva was boss in his Milan days, obviously in his early PSG days. Even now, you know, he's got that experience. He's very much like, I mean, it's like it's Chelsea, but it's very much like John Terry kind of figure. He's going to come in, and you just think, even if he's not up to the speed and all the others, he's got that experience to bring it in, very like a company as well. I think he's a tremendous free sign. I really do.
Yeah. So all the money they've spent, and you heard it here first, folks. The free transfer is going to be their best signing.
Yeah.
Players they've lost, Morata. I mean, we knew he was going. He was already out on loan.
Yeah.
But Willian to Arsenal seems a bit of a strange move, strengthening your rivals with, well, let's face it, he's still a hell of a player.
Yeah.
Wonderful 100%. Free kick taker.
Definitely.
And Pedro, I'm not sure where he's gone, but he wasn't really in the team towards the end, was he?
No, Pedro was always one of those bit part players, even at Barcelona. You know, even when you had the heyday of Barcelona, you had Messi and you had David Villa. Pedro would be on, and obviously known for scoring goals like against United in the Champions League final and stuff, and just pulling it out when he needed to. He was like their soul shot, wasn't he, at Barca? But just to pull back on the signings, of course, I mean, you know, just the players they've gone there, I think they needed to strengthen huge, because last season they had games where they were dominating. They were playing so well in certain games, and teams like Villa, they were brushing side, etc. But even then, I'm sure Villa got, was it a 2-2 draw last season, like near the end, or something daft like that. You know, and I think that a team like Chelsea should be easily just brushing them teams aside. But, you know, now I just think they're the most dangerous team, because if they can get working together, I don't think they're there because of the respect for Frank Lampard and all that stuff. They probably know of him. They probably respect him as a player. He's not proved himself too much as a manager. Okay, he's taken over a Chelsea team. He's done well with them. But, you know, I think a lot of that is from... It's like his heritage. Like if Gerrard went to Liverpool, everyone's going to go, oh, playing for Steven Gerrard at Liverpool, it's going to be a massive deal for them. But I don't think they're there for that. Obviously, I think they're because obviously the big cash prices and promises that they're obviously going to play Champions League football, of course. So I think they're going to be, me personally, I think they're going to be the biggest threat to our championship next season, obviously, other than Manchester City, of course. But yeah.
I think they're definitely going to be up there. Towards the end of the season, I fully expect it to be Liverpool, Chelsea and Man City vying for the title coming down to the last month or so.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be as tight as last season. Not open as last season, sorry. I think it'll be super tight. Definitely. Yeah. So... That's Chelsea.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, we shall move on. Who have I got up next? Crystal Palace. All right. So obviously a bogey team for my team, Liverpool. They always tend to be a bit of a thorn. Notable signings. I'm going to, again, apologise for not pronouncing these correctly. I like his surname's Easy. I like that. It's cool. Is it Ize? Or I'm not too sure how to pronounce it. Is it Abarici Ize? And obviously got Nathan Ferguson. 16 million for Ize and a free transfer for Nathan Ferguson from West Brom. Surprising. Obviously West Brom just come back up, so I'm surprised they didn't keep hold of Ferguson. But no departures that we know of. 14th last season. They've always been just below mid-table team. I think it will always be that way with Palace unless they have a significant it can go one way or the other. They can have a significant boost or they could just be like flat out and fighting relegation. So again, I think changes. Wilfried Zaha for me is their kind of reliable player. They stick to him all the time, and I think the guy deserves a chance to move on. I'm surprised it hasn't been announced yet. Because I think he did give his heart to him last season, even though he was promised in many ways that he can go, and then he stayed and did what he did. And but yeah, what do you reckon of Palace's chances this season?
Well, as long as they've got Zaha, you've got a chance, I suppose. But
yeah,
like you say, it cannot be long before a bigger club comes in for him. No disrespect to Palace, but of course, a player of that stature shouldn't be at a team finishing 14th in the Premier League.
No.
This season, if we suppose they'll keep him for the season, I can see another 13th, 14th, 15th place finish.
Yeah.
They need to get Benteke firing because he's one of these players. He was a hell of a player 1 or 2 years ago, and he's just gone completely off the boil. It's getting back on song. Yeah. It'll be like a new striker signed.
Exactly, yeah. I think he's got that. You see, what I always liked about Benteke, especially at Villa, he was always putting himself around the defenders. He was bolshy. He was getting stuck in, and I like that in the striker, of course. A little bit different when he came to us. I don't think he fit the blend of the team. I don't think we worked around him a lot, unfortunately for him. Obviously, a hell of a goal. Old Trafford for us, obviously that'll go down in history for us. I love that goal. That goal is fantastic and it's so underappreciated. It's unbelievable. But yeah, when he went to Palace, obviously he got his revenge on us at the time. But yeah, that's it. So I've not really seen much of him, so I agree with you. I think he needs to have more time to get him back in the game and get him firing again.
Can Roy bring it out of him? Roy, of course, who's managed both of our clubs.
Yes, he has. Yes. I can't remember, how did he fare at Rovers? I can't remember now.
He was, in my memory, one of our worst ever managers.
That's a symbol over to both shirts. But you know what? It's good old Roy anyway. We've got to look after Roy. He's a legend in his own way.
An English treasure, but in many respects.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the next team.
Indeed, let's go. Oof.
And we're going to your great rivals, the Toffees, the Blue Noses.
The Bitters.
Well, they've been spending a bit of money, haven't they?
They have indeed.
Alan from Napoli, 22.5 million.
Yeah.
Paul Ray from Watford, he was a cracking player, one of Watford's only bright sparks last year.
Yeah.
20 million again. And their big marquee signing, actually on a free transfer, James Rodriguez from Real Madrid.
Blimey now, that's crazy.
I mean, what a signing, right? If he can capture even half the form he used to have. Oh,
yeah, for sure.
World Cup Player of the Year there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that Colombian team. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Brazil as a football star, so I'm just trying to get my chair moving if you hear any background noise. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Brazil and the football style. Not so much of the 2014 World Cup. I didn't think their ball was on. I still cheered them on a little bit, but it wasn't them. But James Rodriguez ran that World Cup. And unfortunately, due to a little bit of cheating, we may say, on the Brazilian side, that he never got to fulfill that dream, because that was his World Cup, like Roberto Baggio's World Cup in 1994. And Ronaldo's World Cup in 2002. We can go on forever, but yeah, James Rodriguez, what a signing! And I tell you what, it's the reverse, I think, of the Lampard situation at Chelsea. I think with Carlo Ancelotti, I think he's such a tremendous manager to have, especially, for a team like Everton to pull him in the first place. It's good because as much as they're rivals, I got the utmost respect for them as well, because the fact that their heritage speaks a lot of them, it speaks volumes. So to pull in those names. Ugh, I seen a thing today on the screen over in Liverpool, the big screen of him on welcoming him to Liverpool in blue, and that'll get to Liverpool fans. That will get to them. You know, they say they're not bothered, they're champions. Yeah, but that'll get to them. It's a big name.
It's a marquee signing, definitely. And mentioning Carlo Ancelotti, it was, of course, him who signed him for Real Madrid.
Yeah, indeed.
So Link knows his player.
And at Bayern as well, no less.
Indeed.
So he's been around with him.
He has. Have there any notable losses? Schneiderlin, he was good first time around for Everton. Didn't really do too much last year.
Yeah.
And Stecklenburg, reserve keeper, not really lost anyone. They've obviously still got Richarlison.
Yeah.
I think, you know, they're going to do a lot better this year than they did last year. They're going to be at least top 10.
Yeah. I'm worried about the surge. You know, I heard they got taken over. What was it, last season, 2 seasons ago? Had a bit of money thrown in. I just think it's a matter of time before they start building up. They're not actually going to be like Chelsea or Man City, instantaneous like success in the next couple of years, but I think they're slowly building up. So, but yeah, worrying times for us.
Indeed. But we can't differ. We need to move on to the next team.
Indeed. Let's fire away. Okay. Fulham. Okay. So obviously they've just come back up again from obviously getting down a couple of seasons ago. They've just been promoted, of course. So they're fresh. They're going to be, for me, I think they're going to be relegation fodder regardless. But yeah, let's have a look at their signs. Obviously got Anthony Knockaert, of course, from Brighton. We spoke about it earlier real quick. Harrison Reed from Southampton, 8.1 million. Anthony Robinson from Wigan, left back. So nice cheap 1.8 million. You got Mario Lemina from Southampton as well, also a 1.8. He's a loan. So yeah, I think Fulham will get a few results. I don't think they're going to get any shock results. I don't think they're going to do what Norwich did last season, when they're getting little wins, big wins here and there. I guess the Man City, of course. I just think Fulham haven't got it in them to do that. But I feel they will get wins against teams around about their own par. I don't think there's anyone lower than Fulham for me. So yeah, relegation fodder for me. But yeah, what do you think of their chances? Do you think they'll escape the drop?
I think they've got 2 chances, slim and none.
Yes.
I don't think they've got a chance in Howard season.
Yeah.
Mitrovic has already proven he's not a Premiership striker. As good as he was last season in the Championship.
Yeah.
He's been in the Premiership before. He couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Knockaert's a good signing. He's a good player.
Yeah.
Signing him, it's not enough.
No.
There's just not enough about that team for me.
No, I completely agree with you there. I just honestly don't think there's nothing to them. No.
It's a shame. I do like Fulham, but
yeah,
I can't see him doing anything.
Yeah, they're one of them. Obviously, they used to, you know, are they Chelsea's rivals, aren't they? Technically, like a little mid London rival, Fulham.
Yeah.
You know, they did us a favour a couple of seasons ago, many years ago, even when they beat United for us. We didn't end up winning anything after that. That was only really notable thing about Fulham, really. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Sorry, Fulham fans. I know it's not great hearing.
Hey, a fellow team that came up in the Championship last season, and these came up as champions.
Yes.
Leeds, of course, big club back in the day. Been in the Championship for a long time now.
Yeah.
Never really threatened to get up until they got Marcel Bisset. How do you say his surname, the manager?
Oh, is it? Baresi? Yes, think of that.
Apologies, Marcel, if I pronounced that wrong. But
we're really bad.
Obviously, they were unlucky to not go up last year, losing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
This year they've got it right. Couple of good signings. Helder Costa from Wolves. That's a hell of a signing for a newly promoted team.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah. Huge, because he's proven he can do it in the Premiership. He's a damn good Premiership player.
Yeah.
And he's not even their main signing. Rodrigo from Valencia, £27 million.
Yeah.
Robin Koch from Freiburg, 11 million. And then a keeper, Meslier, for 5.8 million from Lorient. I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to do a lot better. I think of the promoted teams, I think they're going to easily do the best.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Completely agree with you, Nick. I think Rodrigo is a. I mean, do you think how many promoted teams can will buy a player that big for that amount of money, that big. It's got to be the team of Leeds, the club Leeds. I, for one, have made up with their backup. 16 years for me, I think it's too long for a team like that stature, regardless of reputation from the past. Obviously, we know they had reputation; loads of teams did. And I just think that having Leeds United back up, I just think it works for me. I was so happy when they did come up. I was gutted when they went down when they did, because I always had I was just not a fondness, but I used to kind of look over my shoulder and see how Leeds were doing, just to see how they were going. But yeah, after all what they went through, now they're back up. The travesty last year at Aston Villa, which I felt personally nothing went wrong for me. I thought that was a perfectly fine goal. We'll go into that on another podcast or on experience or whichever we might do. Go to, because I'm still fuming about that. It's been over a season. It's not even my team. But yeah, I still think they're going to do well. I think they'll do mid-table. I don't think they're going to go shooting up the league. I don't think they'll be as good as, say, how Wolves were when they first come back up. But I think they've got a fair chance. I think we're not going to be down in the bottom three. Definitely not. I just think they'll be way up from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
All right, Leicester. So obviously a big surprise last season. They came up the table quite quickly. I thought Brendan Rodgers did a heck of a job at the start. I mean, my goodness, they were a couple of points behind us. I think they were like 6-7 points ahead of Man City at one point. They were doing really well, firing all cylinders. It was reminds of them a couple of seasons ago when they did win the league. But obviously, as time went on, it just they couldn't hold on as much as they did last time. The main signs, of course, got Timmy. Again, we're gonna have to apologise for our pronunciations. You got Timothy Castagni. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. He's probably from Atalanta. 21.6 million. Big price, really, and obviously notable departures. Ben Chilwell, obviously that went to Chelsea. For me, I think Leicester, they dropped the ball literally in every way last season near the end. I think that when Liverpool pounced them 4-0, it's just before that they had a bad result. I can't remember who against. I can't think who it was, but they were. You showed signs of weakness, and then when Liverpool trounced them, that was just the end of it for them. I think that just knocked their confidence, and they just kind of went down. As much as Vardy was banging goals in, it wasn't enough to keep them. To drop out of the Champions League place from being that far ahead, not good enough for me.
No. Well, they were unlucky, weren't they? They had quite a horrific run of injuries.
Yes.
Maddison got injured, and Didi got injured.
Yes.
Vardy had an injury at one point.
Yeah.
And I think the pandemic came at the completely wrong time for them.
Yep.
I mean, in a Corona-free normal season, they would have held on to that Champions League spot for me.
Yeah.
But they came back from the season restarted. They barely won a game, did they, in that final period?
Yeah.
But again, still had injuries. Maddison, I don't think he played again in that season.
No, I don't think he did.
So they were unlucky. Although you could argue they also overachieved at the start. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Vardy is there. He's the man in here, really. Let's face it, he's been there for years. And big shout out to him to be top goal scorer last season.
Of course.
It says volumes for the man, I suppose.
Non-league to Premiership top goal scorer in 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
What a journey.
Yeah, and a Premier League winner along the way. So,
well,
it says a lot. It's like one of those things you dream of, wouldn't it, back in the day? So, all right. Yeah. Who's next?
Challenging again? Or
do you reckon Leicester? I don't think they've got it in them this season. I think they'll drop down even more. Last season 5th. I don't know, man. 7th, 8th for me. I just don't think they've got it in them anymore. They'll drop.
Agree with that assessment.
Thank you. Who's next?
The Pool. Your boys.
My boys.
Not really been making a splash in the transfer market.
I don't know.
Only one signing, a left back from Olympiacos, and is he even going to get in the team ahead of Robertson? I can't say his name. Tsimikas.
Oh yeah, Tsimikas. Yeah, it's a solid team. Yeah. Yeah,
haven't lost any main players. You've lost Lovren, Lallana, and Klein. None of them were set first teamers, really, were they?
No.
Lovren maybe was coming in for Gomez occasionally, but he wasn't never the first name on the sheet.
No.
Despite his own claims of being the best defender in the world, of course. And then Klein, that's a shame, really, because he was very, very promising at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll throw it over to you, as it's your boys.
Do you know what? I'm happy for Adam Lallana. I'm glad he got the goal at Old Trafford when he did last season. I thought that was a good guy, and it helped us a lot because we were losing that game. So I'm made up for him to get the medals he has when he was with us. And obviously, I wish him all the best at Brighton, of course. And Nathaniel Klein, again, he played a tremendous game against Man United about a season or so ago. But again, he just wasn't getting in the team. He wasn't up there with, say, Trent and stuff like that. So I just couldn't get him. Lovren, God bless Dejan. I mean, I'll tell you what, he's a character, that guy. I just seen his goal against France the other day, and it was such a good goal. Dragged it down, shot it in, and gives it the old kind of like, check me out. It's so funny. Tsimikas, I think he's going to be, again, he's going to come with Robinson. It'll be help for when Robinson is injured, because obviously they were sticking Milner there all the time. So obviously Milner can now flush. He doesn't go worry about getting the back. Yeah, proud of my boys. Obviously, we've had a love-hate relationship over the years. I've cried with them. I've cheered with them. I threatened to leave them. I did leave them at one point. I was so angry at the team and the club, as it's probably well known. But like a long-lost love, I kept coming back and saying, I forgive you. There's a meme out there with an old guy holding like an umbrella over a lady, and he says, I love you to death still. Even though I'm mad at you, and he's holding an umbrella under when she's pouring down the rain. So that's me and Liverpool. I had no choice but to support them, because I could have supported United or Coventry City back in the day, and I was frowned upon for even thinking such things. So the team's in my heart. I can't help it. I mean, I was a bit downtrodden about the whole situation, how they ended up winning the league and picking up the trophy. I thought the light show was great, of course. Without the fans, I just felt it was it was just a travesty for me. But what can we do in these times? We couldn't do anything. So I respect the fact of that happening. But this season coming up, I'd love to say, I don't think they're going to fall off. I think they're going to keep going. I think it's going to be very, very tight. Like you said, those top three you mentioned earlier, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, I just think all three of them are going to be so tight. Again, it is worrying the fact that we've not signed anyone other than Tsimikas. I mean, the fact that Thiago's been on the name for God knows how long, on the lips for everyone. Obviously, Werner was practically in bed with Klopp at one point doing FaceTime calls, and that all went down the pan. So, yes, we don't buy our success. We nurture it. But I think teams like Man City and Chelsea, they ain't got time to nurture there. They've had a few good players bring up, like your Foden, and your Mason Mount, but they're just blowing us. They're going to blow us away, I think, this season. So, so fingers crossed, champions. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. I'm looking forward to it anyway. I can't wait to get stuck back in again.
We will see, indeed. And now you be rivals.
Oh, bloody hellfire. Right, okay, so have I spoke about Man City more than I should have in the past? Have I given them too much respect? You know what? They've tried to create a rivalry with us for the last couple of seasons. You go online, you see how many Man City fans. I knew one Man City fan. Other than the Oasis brothers, we knew one Man City fan before this. And now it seems there's hundreds of thousands of them all over the place. Same thing, I suppose, it was at Man United. But yeah, going back, forgetting all that rivalry, let's go straight to the signings. Obviously, they got Nathan Ake from Bournemouth. I think that's a great sign. I think they're overpaid. I think it's a lot of money, 45 million, but that's a going price. I think he's earned that. I felt sorry for him when he got pulled away from Bournemouth to go to Chelsea. When Chelsea won the league, he kind of just sat on the bench. I don't even know if he got a medal. But he's earned this move to Man City from Bournemouth. He played tremendously well for them. Torres, I'm not too familiar with from Valencia, but 20 million for Torres. That's Ferran Torres, not Fernando. He's not come out of retirement. We got Couto as well for, is that Cortibia?
I think it's a Serie B Brazilian team.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, someone's done some research there because, 5.5 million for him. And Cabor, I think that's how you pronounce it, from Michelin, 4 million. Again, part of my pronunciation, it's... Ake, I think, is their standout signing. Obviously, they missed out on Messi, which I don't think had no intentions of going there. But, he might be a free transfer coming up, so they might bag him there. Notable departures, Leroy Sané. You know what? I like Sané. I really did. I didn't think he got this much chance. He had games where he'd fall off, but I think he was a tremendous signing. Claudio Bravo and David Silva, of course, the legend David Silva. As much as his rivalry, there's respect, and David Silva earned all that for me. I think he's been a tremendous player the last couple of years, and even the last 10 years or so since he's been there. So, how do you feel they're going to get on this season, man?
Yeah, like you, I think it's between, as we keep saying, between Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. For me, I think Man City are probably going to take the title. I think they've strengthened the best in the right positions.
Yeah.
We saw last season, by far their weakest area was the defence. They've brought a centre back, 2 new right backs.
Yeah.
Ake, like you say, is a brilliant centre back. Who he's going to line up alongside? Will it be Laporte or Stones? I'm not sure. Maybe they'll play around with it for a little while until they get about. Sane's a bit of a loss. I'm surprised they didn't try and keep him.
Yeah.
I can see why he's left. And like you say, David Silva, it's been a pleasure to watch him for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Whoever you support, absolute
100%.
privilege from being in the Premiership.
Yeah.
That's
completely agree then.
Safe in Man City, really.
Yeah. Definitely 100% better out of the 2 Silvers. I'll be honest with you, at that club. I prefer David 100% of the time. But yeah, he'll be sorely missed. Yeah, I think they'll be up there again. I think it'll be a coin toss for those top 3. I'll really be honest with you. You'll see my prediction later, of course, with yourself. You've predicted champions, which is, again, you can't argue with that. But yeah, that's Man City for you.
That's Man City. The other half of Manchester.
Oh, God. The other one. Okay, well, take it ahead. You go ahead. I mean, you've got a lot to say about Man United, I'm sure.
It's actually your start. I did Man City. Did
you? Okay, so you got Manchester United, of course, who are still 20-time champions. They won't let us forget that. Signings this year, again, not a lot going on. Donny van der Beek from Ajax, which is a great sign. Fair play to them for that. They've done well with getting Van der Beek in. They're still the name of Manchester United, regardless of how bad or good they're doing, whatever. I still think pulls in players. I think Manchester United is one of them big names. Everyone should say, Liverpool have fell off the boil. We got a close friend who's a Man United fan, so Liverpool aren't even a rival anymore because they're so far down. At the end of the day, yes, we had our bad moments, but Man United, as much as they've had bad moments, it's still the team Manchester United. And as much as we're rivals, etc., it's the fact that they're just a massive, massive club, one of the biggest in the world. Losing Alexis Sanchez, I thought it was funny. I knew that was going to happen anyway, of course, obviously, because he didn't want to go back there. Did you hear the quote he said the other day about he turned up at the training ground at Man United? I think he's only there 10 minutes, and he said to his agent, "Can I go back to Arsenal?" Which I found hilarious because he didn't want to be there, and he was better at Arsenal, of course, in my opinion. But also breaking news, a scoop, well, probably not because Sky's probably got it. But they've Jordan Sancho. The big talks going up. There's meant to be agencies and all that stuff. They're coming to agreement with prices and stuff like that. The only problem we've got is, obviously now for them at least, is Dortmund's going to be feet in the mud, not going to move from their £108 million price tag for him. But could we see Sancho in a Man United shirt literally in a couple of weeks?
I mean, I very much hope not, of course, because
yes,
he's a hell of a player. But it would be an amazing signing for them if they can pull that off.
Yeah.
Van der Beek is a good signing. Centre back, partner up with Maguire. You can see why they've gone for that. Like you said earlier about Eric Barley, very injury prone. So you can see why they've bought him. Although he's a fielder, isn't he? So where's he going to fit into that team?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not sure. I mean, you've got your Pogba in there. You got. I mean, do you know Fred? A lot of people, are putting down Fred. You still got lovers and haters. He's a Marmite player, but it's just like, for me, I think Fred did really well last season. When he was in, he was doing the job he needed to do. From what I'd seen of him, I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Man United, obviously, last season, but from what I did see, Fred's name was mentioned quite a bit in a positive way, and I just think that, if he sacrifices Fred to put Van der Beek in, then, you're getting one player for the other. But I just think it'll be bad for Fred. I think he's done really well last season. Probably better than Pogba, Yeah.
I mean, this is Man United, though, and they've made one signing. I mean, a couple of years ago, they would have been unheard of. Season.
Yeah, especially after not winning the league again. That Sir Alex would have been no chance. This ain't happening. We've lost the league. I mean, they wouldn't have been this far down, let's face it. But if, losing that league would have been, no job. No one would have had any hesitation in buying new players and strengthening that squad. So, We'll see how they do.
Ollie's at the wheel.
We will.
Is he going to push that bus?
Ollie's at the wheel. Let him stay at the wheel.
We'll move on.
Okay, Newcastle.
United, old Stevie Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Very unpopular when he was appointed, but he pulled off a good season last year.
He did.
Got him up to 13th, having gotten promoted from the Championship the year before.
Yeah.
Callum Wilson, 20 million from Bournemouth. It's a brilliant signing. Absolutely brilliant.
100%.
Bournemouth's best player, I would have thought. It seems like they've also raided Bournemouth because they've also took Ryan Fraser on a free transfer.
They have.
Jeff Hendrick from Burnley on a free transfer. So a little midfielder.
Yeah.
And Jamal Lewis from Norwich. Just raiding the relegated teams, it seems.
Yeah.
A tactic, I suppose. Just poach their best players.
Yeah.
Haven't really lost anyone. So same team as last year that finished 13th.
Yeah.
Added to it, improved it. Can't see them pulling up any trees again. Looking at a similar season between anywhere from 9th to 15th for me.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think that I can't really add a lot to it. I think what they've done, they've strengthened their club, of course. I think Newcastle, they're one of them kind of like, they're a massive club within reason, if it makes sense. They're not as big as obviously your Man United and stuff like that, but at the same time they're huge in their own, and their fan base is it's massive. And I always wanted them to do well, especially when Alan Shearer there. I always thought it was a great sign back in the day. Of course, I used to love the Alan Shearer. But yeah, again, same as yourself. I don't think they'll break top 10 myself personally. I just think they're still going to be fluttering around about the 13th mark. I don't know if that's where I put them. I can't remember now, but yeah, we'll see that later on. But yeah, not really much to add to that. I just think they'll be the same as last season, pretty much. Yeah. Okay, Sheffield United. Last year's shock team. Obviously, they finished 9th in the end, so a bit of a bad ending, a bit of a firework really for Sheffield United. Obviously, they've added to their group Aaron Ramsdale from Bournemouth. Again, Bournemouth have lost a few players now, which we know is going to happen. 18.5 million for him. Max Lowe from Derby. We don't know what the fee that will be, but again, they've not done a lot. I thought they what was their manager's name? What was their manager's name last season? I can't think of the manager's name, Sheffield United manager, but anyway, forgive me, his name just not in my head at the moment, but he was tremendous last season for what he did. The football he played was really, really good sometimes. I'd catch it on Match of the Day. I don't think... I think they'll do a decent season again. I don't think they'll be as high as they were last season. I think they'll pretty much flirt around about the mid-table for me, myself, and then eventually just stay there this time.
I agree. Yeah, nothing really to add. I also can't think of the manager's name.
I'm really bad. I do apologise, Sheffield United fans.
Chris Wilder.
Chris Wilder, yes, that's it. Yeah, Chris Wilder. Fantastic job.
Probably, I mean, arguably manager of the year last year to get them into 9th from where they started.
Yeah.
An amazing job. I mean, it says a lot that they fizzled out and finished 9th.
Yeah.
That says a lot to the job that they originally did.
Agreed, yeah.
Only really bought a goalkeeper. I mean, the goalkeeper they had last year, he was on loan, wasn't he, from Manchester United? Has he gone back?
He has.
Absolutely brilliant keeper.
Henderson. Yeah, I think he's going to take over back at... I think he's going to get ahead of De Gea, myself.
That's a shame. Haven't lost anyone, but I can't see them repeating last year. Seems like they've probably been found out now.
Yeah.
But, I don't think they'll get relegated. I think they'll be solid mid-table.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm pretty sure they'd probably take that.
Yeah. That's it. You don't want to be flirting with relegation at any point in your time, but I think they'll stay up long enough as they can.
So we go to the Saints.
Indeed.
Liverpool's feeder club.
Yes. Suppose we got their away kit as ours.
So last season, the start they had was absolutely shocking, wasn't it? They looked for one point they were certain to be relegated.
Oh God, yeah.
They turned it around. Incredible turnaround, really.
Oh yeah.
I think it all started when they got spanked by Leicester 9-1.
Yeah.
And from that moment, it turned.
Yeah.
To the point where they beat Leicester in the return leg.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? Unheard of.
Signings, they've bought Kyle Walker-Peters from Spurs, a good right back, 11.9 million, sorry.
Yeah.
Mohamed Salisu, a centre back from Real Valladolid, 10.8 million. I don't really know him, so I can't speak to if he's going to be a good signing or not.
Yeah.
Højbjerg, they've lost him. Now, he was a good player for them. That's a big loss. That's a blow. They've also lost Harrison Reed and Cedric Suarez. Again, both of those two were in the first team. So it's first team has gone. Any team's going to miss that quite a lot, I would say.
Yeah.
Don't think they'll get relegated again, but I do think they'll struggle again.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think, the bottom four, I think they're going to be flirting with it more, like they did last season. I just feel that, with Danny Ings, he was the man last season for me. I thought, along with Vardy, the two old heads that, are butting a lot at the top, for getting the most goals, of course. But I just think that without him, well, where would they be? They're not one-man teams, of course, but again, where would they be? That you just point out there, Højbjerg. I mean, that player, he was the glue, a lot of the time. So I think they will definitely miss him. I think that, like yourself, I just think they'll be flirting a little bit at the start. I think they'll pull themselves back up again. It'll be like the same as last season for me. I agree. I think they'll be about there or thereabouts, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. And we've got Spurs. Oh yes, Jose Mourinho. They've just obviously brought out that All or Nothing, haven't they? On that the channel we can't pronounce because we're not getting paid for it, so we're not going to flirt with them. If you want to pay us, we'll be up for it. But yeah, Spurs going obviously at Lucauso from Real Betis. They brought him in 28.8 million, of course. Matt Doherty from Wolves, good signing. That is 15.1 million. And there's the man we just spoke about, of course. Højbjerg's coming in from Southampton, 14.9, which I think will be great for Spurs. Joe Hart coming in a free transfer. We obviously. He's obviously had a bit of a down spiral since he left Man City, but obviously, what can you do against Man City? You had the best goalkeepers brought in over time. Notable departures got Jan Vertonghen. That's going to be a big miss for them, but not as much as you think. I think that they needed to freshen up a bit, and I don't think he was adapting himself. And obviously, Kyle Walker-Peters, of course, we just mentioned him before going the opposite way to Southampton. Yeah, I think Spurs, they're going to have it in them. I thought they had a bit of splurge last season when Mourinho come in. Obviously, he spurred them on, literally, in every way. And I think they did all right. And I think they took... we were worried. Liverpool were worried one time when they played us. They were hard. They were strong. Managed to overturn them, but it was a tough battle. So I think they'll be up there. I don't know if I put them in top 6, top 7. I think they'll be up there again. I don't think they'll reach the heights again. They've obviously got Europa League to contend with this season, which obviously Mourinho was very happy about on the touchline at the end of last season, where a lot of Spurs fans weren't. But sometimes you've got to stay in your lane. I don't think they were Champions League material. They had some good results, but not great. Champions League final, of course, so I can't knock them for that. Obviously, that's massive. But I just don't think they'll reach those heights for a little bit. I think they're going to calm down a bit, and I think Arsenal are going to be that team in North London that takes over that position.
Interesting. This is the main team I think we disagree on.
Oh, really?
I think they're going to be pushing the top 4. I think Jose, he's basically had a season now. You can't knock the guy as a manager. Won everything there is to that. Whether you dislike his style of play or not, you can't knock his results.
Yeah.
Højbjerg, I think we've both said it, it's a hell of a signing. And Doherty as well from Wolves. He was brilliant for Wolves. I can't believe Wolves have let him go, to be frank.
No.
Hart's obviously there as just backup. He's not their first choice. And Lo Celso was already there last season. They've just made it permanent. And like you say, Vertonghen, he's a mainstay in their first team, but they've let him go for free, which I think says all it needs to say. Wasn't part of Jose's plans. His time there was probably up. Probably the right decision for both parties. Yeah. But yeah, I think they're going to do very well. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people.
All right. There we go. We don't disagree on too much, but yeah, there we go.
So West Brom, the next team that came up from the Championship last year.
Yeah.
So they made a few signings. Grady Diagano from West Ham, 12.1 million. He's their main signing. I mean, I don't really remember him from West Ham, so I can't speak to how good he is. Mateus Pereira from Sporting, 8 million. Cedric Kipre from Wigan, 990,000. And Callum Robinson from Sheffield for an undisclosed fee. Again, I can't really speak to how good any of those players were. They've lost Jonathan Lecco. They came up in the playoffs, didn't they, last year?
He did. Yeah, they managed to win that.
Pretty much second. Like I can't really see them doing anything this season. I think they're going to live up to their long-held nickname of the Boing Boing Baggies and go straight back down, frankly.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, they're nowhere near, obviously, the best team in the Midlands. But you know what? I think West Brom are going to be there. I think they're going to be the team that's going to do a shock result here and there. I think they'll be the one who defeats. They could defeat Liverpool or Man City or Chelsea just randomly out of nowhere. They'll get battered by 5-0 by Southampton or something, and then winning 1-0 at Anfield. I think they're one of them teams at the moment.
This is Norwich.
Yeah, pretty much the Norwich of last season. Or the Palace of previous seasons and stuff like that. I just think they've just got something about them that they're going to do. But again, I just don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to stay up. I agree with you on that one. I think they are going to go back down. Sorry to my old boss. I know if you're listening or watching, you're going to completely disagree. He was a big Baggers fan. But I just think they are. I just don't think they're going to stay up. I think they're going to go straight down. Here we are, West Ham. All right. So, West Ham. See, West Ham are one of them teams that are just there. You know, they're just there. I think that, no disrespect to Hammers fans, obviously, you know, we all blow bubbles and stuff like that. I love the song. I love it. Great stadium. Watch Foo Fighters there. They'll kick ass. But I just think their team is just there or thereabouts. They've the first signing, of course, they had, and their only signing, of course, and according to this, is Souček from Slavia Prague, 15 million. I don't know much about him, so I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to say that I do, but let's hope he does well. You know, he can't do any worse for anyone else. So you got your notable departure. You got Grady, is it Diagana? I think I pronounced that correctly. Pablo Zabaleta and Grady Diagana as well. Oh, there's two have died on here. So him and his twin have gone. But Pablo Zabaleta, he's the standout name there, of course. He did well at Man City, really well at Man City, of course. Great defender in his time. But obviously, he's now gone. I don't know where he's gone, of course, but has he retired or was he just left?
He actually doesn't have a club. He was released and has just not found a club.
Wow, I think any team could kind of pick him up. And I think he'd do well for them. I think he'd do all right for them. Like I say, small teams. I'm not talking big teams anymore, but that'd be a big departure for him. But again, West Ham propping up the arse end of the table as always. I don't think they'll go down, but I just don't think they'll be up there either.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Moisey, he knows how to keep a team up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And that's basically what he'll do. He's just going to keep them up. They're not going to progress under David, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I agree.
For one, they don't spend enough money to progress, regardless. Yeah. One signing of 15 million, it's not going to scorch you up the league, is it?
Exactly, yeah.
Losing Zabaleta, I mean, he did well for them last season. He was an experienced head in a troubled back line, so I am surprised about that.
Yeah.
Haven't brought any other defenders in, so strange one.
See how we do, yeah.
But yeah, again, like you say, I think they won't be relegated, but they won't really do anything else.
Heck of a lot. I agree.
And we're on to our final team to look at. Wolverhampton Wanderers. So they have signed Fabio Silva from Porto for 36 million. And Marçal from Lyon for 1.8 million. Last year they were brilliant. They played some lovely football to watch.
Yeah.
Notably, Traoré scared defender senseless last year with his lightning pace. And
so scary to watch.
I mean, how is he that quick when he's that big?
Honestly, he's a beast. No doubt about it. Yeah.
But they have lost Howard Costa and Matt Doherty. Both of those were first teamers for them, and they were both very good players.
Yeah.
They're two big losses, I think, for Wolves.
Yeah.
Silva's a good signing, of course. He'll be paired with Jimenez. It's a good strike force. Don't think they'll reach the heights of last year. I'm going to go. They're going to finish, probably 8th, 9th, 10th.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think obviously Troy had a standout. Obviously, don't forget the Jimenez as well. Just what a striker. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't moved on. I think Wolves doing so well last season's kept him there. But I think he's definitely easily could walk in to a good maybe top 4 team, maybe top 5 team. I think he'd be there or thereabouts. But yeah, I think Wolves this season they're going to play just as well as they are. I've got most respect for Wolves. I really do. I think they've been so good last season. They took everyone by storm. They were beating teams left and right. No one expected to them. They I think they did the double over Man City as well. So I've still got much love for them for that. But yeah, again, I think they're gonna, like yourself. I think they're not going to be as high as last season. I think they will fall off. I don't know if they've got Europe again this season. I think they just missed out, didn't they? So they can focus on the league, I think, this time. But yeah, again, I'm way above mid-table, but not quite top 6 either. So
I agree.
There we go.
And that's it. That's the 20 teams of the Premiership.
Indeed.
So have a look at our predictions.
Shall we do? Let's do it. Okay. So we are going from 13 upwards.
So
there we go. Now we're in.
Now I'm missing the top. So we've got my predictions on the left and Paul's on the right. As I chopped off the winners there, I have Man City to win the league.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned earlier. So you
and Paul has Chelsea.
Yes. I think Chelsea do it every season. Every couple of seasons they see what happens and they have a surge. They did it when they lost lost to Man City, to Leicester. They end up winning the league the following season. They've done it in the past. I just think they've got a surge. I think they've got their head on straight. And I think as much as I just think Frankie Lampard is just going to get on working. I think he's a young new manager. He's got a bit of arrogance to him, which is he's going to have because he's won so much now. So I just think he'll do it with them. I think he'll pip us. But again, only those 3 could do it. So I've just gone for the one I think realistically could do it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's the top 3. It's more or less guaranteed, and it could really be in any order.
Yeah,
3. So look at the relegation places.
Sure. What do you go? You went for Burnley, West Brom, and Fulham. Again, I agree with Fulham. I think they're going to go down. I don't think they'll be as bad as Villa will be. I think Villa will just flop. I think they can't rely too much on Grealish. I just think they'll flop myself.
I mean, I agree with you in terms of the Villa. They're probably going to flop. I just think Fulham and West Brom, they're going to be the 2 worst teams in the league. So for me, that was it. That's 19 and 20. And Villa, I think they may. I mean, it's probably wishful thinking on my part, being a Rovers fan. But Burnley, they've not bought anyone.
Yeah.
Sean Dyche, there was a bit going on towards the end of last season if he was going to stay or not.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of discontent there. So I think they may struggle, but we'll see.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think we've got 2 of them, haven't we? 2 out of the two agreements there, Fulham and West Brom. I think Villa, you think Burnley. I think West Ham will just prop them up again as always. We've had West Ham a little bit higher up, which is a good shout. Let's have a look at the Champions League qualification. Of course, I've gone for Chelsea, and you've gone for Man City respectively. I've gone for Liverpool, Man City, and Man United. Obviously, I think Liverpool or Man City will be up there thereabouts, of course, but it'll be one of the 2. Obviously, I'm going to put Liverpool above Man City, of course. That's what I'm going to do because I'm biased and I don't care. Man United, though, I think Fernandes did really well from last season. They are known as obviously Penchester United at the moment, but as long as they get that out of the way, I think they can do one. Have them just above Arsenal. I'm so sorry, Jace, if you're watching. I think Arsenal are tremendous and they've done really well, but I just think Man United will pip them.
Yeah, it's good enough. I've got Arsenal 5th. I think Arteta's done a good job. I think they're going to keep progressing under him. So I think they'll challenge for the Championship places.
Yeah.
I think they'll probably just fall a little short. And I think, again, I'm going back to Jose. It's just a Jose results factor for me. He just gets results. That's what he does.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how we've had them either side of Arsenal. Have you noticed that? Yeah, not much changed around the corner, though, is it, really? I mean, you got Wolves, Leicester. You went for Leicester, I went for Wolves. I think Leicester a bit further down, Everton. I think Everton around about the same. Our predictions are around about the same. Brighton I've put way down compared to yourself, of course. And I think probably put a lot of respect on Palace, and I think Leeds went a bit higher up. Newcastle, of course, but I think we're pretty much fair square on there in many respects. But we'll see.
At the end of the season, who gets the closest?
Yes, indeed, yeah. I can't wait to see how it all puzzles out. Obviously, the first league games are coming up this weekend, of course. We are recording on September is it the 10th today? Oh, no, it's the 9th. It's the 10th. I'm going ahead. It's the 9th still, but we're going ahead on the 10th, so you'll be seeing this then. But again, this weekend's going to be interesting. I'm all signed up to all my necessary football needs, so I should be watching the match of the day, of course. Is on BBC One, so I'll be watching that as well. Yeah, is there anything more you'd like to add to finalise our first experience, or your first experience?
I'm pretty happy with how it's gone.
So Me
good
too.
Luck.
Yes, thank you very much. Good luck to your Rovers, of course. Obviously, yours. Let's just hope to get off to a good start, because I do like the Rovers, of course, naturally.
I think we'll get the playoffs this year.
You think you get playoffs?
I think we'll get the playoffs. We've got Bradley Dack still, probably one of the best players in the Championship.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was injured for half the season last year. Huge blow. We've got him, Adam Armstrong. He's been banging in the goals.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw one of the goals he scored last year. Well, I mean, he scored.
I've seen a few, but he did, yeah.
He scored double-figure goals, but there was something ridiculous, like 5 or 6 of them were from outside the area.
Oh, wow, really? Blimey.
He's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, we'll be up there, and we'll be joining you next season in the Premiership, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Yes. I say a rivalry with Burnley according to this. 14th for Burnley for me. You hopefully just kind of straight swap. I would prefer that, to be fair, to be honest. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, thank you all for tuning in. If you obviously want to put a like on this video, please do so. Put in the comments what you think your predictions are going to be, of course, and obviously by all means challenge us on what you think is going to be right. Obviously, we're not professionals, which is just based on opinion, complete opinion. So we obviously not holding everything there to gospel. But yeah, so obviously I've been Seymour and he's been Frost.
I've been Nick Frost.
He has. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Until then, take care, guys.
Bye, folks.